You don't have to be an extreme ultralight enthusiast with a sub-base weight of 3 pounds in order to understand the value of reducing your overall weight in your backpack. Right? We all understand that the weight that you carry on your shoulders and your hips takes a toll on your body throughout your hike. And the less weight on your back means the more miles on your feet. But at that point, hikers tend to take some very drastic and different measures to achieve the same goal. If you've spent any time watching YouTube videos about gear or backpacking or ultralight dreams, then you know that there are two very distinct trains of thought when it comes to that. One group tells you to strip out everything from your kit except for the bare essentials. Those are your minimalists. Those are almost your survivalists on the trail. It becomes a rite of passage to be able to say, I slept in the dirt with a 3/4 inch sheet of Tyvek, and that was all the shelter I had for 6 months. Then there's the other folks that are telling you, pull out your credit card and go buy that $700 quilt, $800 backpacking tent, focus on all the fancy ultralight equipment you can have, and then you're gonna have an amazing ultralight kit and still be able to keep a camp chair in your backpack. Now, for me personally, I fall right down the middle path there. I want to strip out all the excess gear that I don't need to have with me, but I don't want to have to pay an arm and a leg for comfort on the trail. And yes, I do keep a chair with me, and I know that's an extra pound in my backpack, but it's a compromise I'm willing to make in order to be comfortable. Now, we're going to dial in some real simple, basic, budget-friendly solutions to help lighten the load in your backpack and keep the money in your wallet where it belongs. Howdy folks, welcome back to Northwest Walking. It is yet another rainy day here in the Pacific Northwest, so we're hiding out at the park under this cover. We're going to dig into some low-budget, highly effective ways to not only reduce the weight in your backpack, but save you some money on your next hiking adventure. So let's jump right into it. The first thing I want to talk about is our waterproofing. Now take this with a grain of salt, because you've seen me in recent videos talk about how I put extra layers of water protection if I plan on a rainy day hike. Not every hike is going to need that level of water protection. Let's show you how crazy we can get at times. Right? I'm a fan of stuff sacks. I think everybody knows that. These stuff sacks not only are great for organization, but they're also great for water protection. But we can take it too far. I've got a Ziploc bag for my emergency kit. I've got another Ziploc bag for my electronics. Those go into a stuff sack, which then goes into a trash bag liner in my backpack. That's 3 layers of water protection. And quite honestly, it's just too much. You don't need that. It's just added weight on your pack, and it's not necessary. If you want to shed some quick weight and save a few dollars, maybe next time consider skipping on purchasing the stuff sack and just opt for a Ziploc bag instead. Ziploc bags are tried and true. They are waterproof, they are airtight, and if you do need that extra layer of protection, a household trash bag is going to work as a great pack liner without having to go out and purchase a dedicated pack liner. Now, let's jump into something a little bit more robust when it comes to lightening our load. How many of you have gone out there and you've bought a top-of-the-line first aid kit, right? This is the medical kit that my family and I take with us when we go do our family car camping trips. Car camping is the key. This is huge. It's incredibly bulky. It has way too much stuff in it. And quite honestly, you're not going to use 90% of it. If you want to save some weight and save some money, consider building out your own first aid kit. Now, the beauty of building out your own first aid kit is it allows you to really customize what you have in your kit for your particular type of adventure. I've built out not only a first aid kit, but also a repair kit and an emergency kit that I carry with me in my backpack. It consists of some basic first aids, patches and repairs, not only for my body, but for my gear. And then, of course, some emergency fire lighting and water treatment. But the whole point is, I built out this entire kit for about $2. And it's a fraction of the size and the weight of the one that you can purchase that's already pre-made for you. Don't waste your money on a $40 emergency kit when you can spend a couple of dollars and use your household items to build out your own. So this next one is probably going to offend a few people. I know people love their Nalgene bottles, and there is a whole movement right now to get everybody to switch away from their one-time use bottles to a dedicated Nalgene bottle or something similar. These are fantastic because you can put hot water in them. You can tuck them down inside your sleeping bag at night, and it makes a nice little hot water bottle to keep you warm. Beyond that, they're kind of bulky. They don't hold a whole lot of liquid, and they're incredibly expensive. So do you really need them? What I have found, 99% of the time, my smart water bottle works just as well for almost every application, except for the fact I can't put hot water in my smart water bottle. But I'm not actually hiking in situations like that most of the time. So it's not a critical component to my safety or my comfort. And contrary to popular belief, a smart water bottle is not a one-time use bottle. Yes, they are sold in convenience stores as a disposable bottle. It doesn't mean you have to dispose of them, right? I've been using this particular bottle for this entire hiking season, right? I used it all spring and summer, fall, and now into the winter. It's going strong. It's gotten a little beat up, but it's still doing the job. The cap is still firm. It doesn't leak, and the bottle is still sturdy and takes care of all of my needs. I also don't have to buy any special attachments or additional components for it to pair with my water filter. Whereas with an Nalgene, then you're going to also have to invest in water bladders or additional pieces so that you can capture the water, filter it into your Nalgene. With a smart water bottle, it's an all-in-one. They are a fraction of the cost and a fraction of the weight. Now, again, I'm not going to go down the path of the right and wrong moral dilemma of disposable versus Nalgene. Other folks have done much better analysis on it. But what I can tell you, for me, I'm going to stick to my reusable over-the-counter bottle versus a Nalgene. Right, now let's move on to food. If you guys have been watching the channel at all, you know I am a horrific overpacker when it comes to food. I love to have my food. Anytime I head out on an adventure, I found for a safety aspect, I like to make sure I have at least 1 day of additional food available, right? That's kind of common sense. If you get trapped for a night out or an unplanned night out, it's great to have some emergency food with you. But that doesn't mean you need to pack 10,000 calories worth of food for an afternoon hike. Dial it back a little bit. When you're getting ready to plan your meals or plan your food for your next backpacking trip, put some additional thought into the intake that you're going to need and the quantity of food that you need. Make sure you have an extra day of food, but you don't need to carry that additional 3 or 4 meals that you end up not eating at the end of the hike anyways, right? If you can dial back your food, you're going to really shed a lot of weight and you're going to save a lot of space in your pack. Continuing on the theme of saving space in your pack, when you're planning which items to take with you on your hiking or backpacking trip, I highly recommend you look for items that can serve a dual purpose. If you're going to pack something, make sure that you can use it for multiple things. For example, I keep a snap fold bowl with me on most of my hikes. Not because I always plan on making a hot meal where I'm going to need it, but because this snap fold bowl can serve a lot of purposes. One, it's a simple sit pad. If you have a muddy or a wet moss-covered log that you're going to sit on, throw this down, sit on top of it. You're going to keep yourself dry and clean. It also works as a great cutting board, or if you put it together, then it serves as its intended purpose, and that's as a bowl or a cup. So here we go. We have one item that has 3 very simple but very specific uses. That's diversity for you. Another thing to look at when it comes to simplifying your gear, if you do indeed continue to use stuff sacks, which I love my stuff sacks because for me they're a great organization piece. A stuff sack can also double as a pillow. Seems pretty simple, right? At home, we have a pillowcase and it's got a nice soft pillow in it. So when we go backpacking, we take these cheap plastic things and we inflate them too much and we stick them under our head and we try and pretend that it's comfortable. Leave that inflatable pillow at home next time and take your stuff sack, toss a couple of extra pieces of clothing in there or your pants that you hiked in the day before, And that makes a nice, soft pillow that you can use at night. Stuff sack for organization during the daytime, a pillow at night. Very much a dual purpose item. Hey, sorry for the interruption. Just keep forgetting to throw out that shameless plug for the channel. If you're liking this content, please, I hope you consider. Hey, sorry for the interruption. It has never been so hard to ask for subscribers and likes. Okay, sorry for the interruption, but I wanted to throw out a shameless request for the channel. Hey, if you guys are liking this content, please let me know in the comments. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe for more great content. Okay, never mind. Now, the last and most critical piece I want you to consider. When you wrap up your next outdoor adventure and you get home and you've had some time to relax, before you put everything away, I want you to spread out your gear on a table and move it into two very distinct piles. Pile number one is going to be the gear that you used. Pile number two is going to be the gear that you did not use. Now, on the gear that you did use, you're going to want to look through those items and make sure, are these exactly what I want for my next trip? Is there something I could improve upon, or maybe it's exactly how I need it? Then, when we look at our pile of gear we didn't use, that's where we're going to get a little bit more critical with our review. The first thing you want to look for is your safety items. Make sure you have the right safety gear set aside. Again, you don't need a giant medical kit when you can build out a smaller, more personalized one. Review your articles of clothing that you had. Did you really need that third pair of socks just in case your first two got wet? Or maybe your sleeping gear could act as your emergency gear as well. Are there any items that we can reduce from that list that aren't going to directly affect us negatively if an emergency happens? Those are the items that you're going to have to really question. Do I want to bring them or do I not want to bring them? Pull them out. Don't bring them for your next trip. You can always put them back in if it turns out that you did end up wanting them in the long run. Simple modifications like this can be huge when it comes to reducing the number of grams in our backpack and increasing the space that we have for our overall kit. Simple things like the stuff sack for your tent. Do you really need that extra 92 grams just to keep your tent contained, or can you fold it in a way that it'll fit into your backpack without a problem? Do you need 2 backup battery banks, or is 1 backup battery bank good enough for you? Do I really need that Nalgene bottle when I had a smart water bottle? Reduce the clutter and the gear, and you're going to find that you're automatically going to shed 2 or 3 pounds from your kit without even trying. So before you decide to pull out your credit card and go crazy with what you're going to spend, do a bit of a self-analysis and a little bit of a trial and error, and I guarantee you are going to like the results in the end.